Part of why hip hop is the way it is because it's our fault. My fault, your fault, your fault.
I ain't do shit.
I think, you know what? I love Jersey hip hop, but I hate New Jersey at the same time. Does that make sense?
Sure.
What does it mean to you?
Depends on what you explain.
Well, what does it mean to you?
What, Jersey?
Yeah.
It's a place to live.
I'm dealing with trauma though.
I think you would deal with that anywhere you live.
But Jersey has a special trauma. What do you think as an MC when it comes to Jersey hip hop? Music in general here. Is it traumatic? Does it mean something to you that's different than what people get normally when they listen to music?
Jersey hip hop. Jersey hip hop right now, I can only speak for those that I know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't speak for those that I don't know because I don't know what their music sound like.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that I do know, I got mixed feelings. Because a lot of Jersey artists want to be like artists from other states.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to keep, I can't say keep, they don't know our sound. They don't know who we are. And that's because of those who came before us. But cool.
Nope. It's not. And I want you to stop right there for 1 second.
Okay.
Please keep that because that's my problem.
Okay.
How many great MCs do you know?
Great.
Great.
From here?
Yeah, from here.
A handful.
A handful. How many good MCs do you know?
2 handfuls.
How many serviceable MCs do you know?
Serviceable by what? What you mean?
That if you put them out, they could at least do a little something.
That's
I
anybody.
can't put that into. I can't put that out in the universe and say it's a number to it because if you put an artist out, it's up to the people to gravitate towards that, not up to me.
Thank you for saying that, because this is why hip hop is our fault. And let me tell you why. Who's the number one artist hip hop wise when it comes to Jersey?
The number one artist?
What do you think about it? Like when you think of Jersey, what do you think about? When you say hip hop, this is the one person that symbolizes hip hop.
It ain't that.
Okay. So most people will say Redman.
Nope.
Most people would say Redman.
Nope.
Okay. But my issue with that is that's 30 years ago. So in 30 years, we've never had anybody else to represent who we are, our identity, our sound, our culture, our rich vastness of what we represent and the spiritualness of who we are. Now there's been numbers of people in the industry. The reason why I bring this up is this, and why I think this album is important, is because so many people will reflect and hold up what was given, but nobody's bringing out the importance of what has came, what is coming, and what is significant to the culture itself. Our culture. The one crime that's going to be put against you is that your sound is going to be lost because the mainstream doesn't elect to find it. That's what we break down, the 10%, 5%, and all the other stuff, right? You know that.
That's if we were targeting the mainstream.
Okay. I don't think that's really the point, though. But I get what you're saying because you're making it for a specific sound, and those who hear will hear it, right? Is that what you mean? No?
No.
Explain.
No.
So this album isn't even meant for people to listen to, it's for them to see. So,
Okay.
so the objective is to create a movie for it.
Right.
I don't even care if the mainstream media gets it or not. That's not the objective, because I'm not a normal artist. I'm not going to do what those who before me did. If you think about it, history is always a teaching lesson. You can't know where you're going if you don't know your history.
Right.
So my history tells me that all the artists from Jersey did this. All the ones that came before us did this. Why would I repeat the same mistake? I'm not going to repeat what they did. If you say Redman was 30 years ago, yeah, it was 30 years ago because they left and never came back and said, it's artists from here, and they picked and chose who they wanted to do. Like, oh, I'm going to go get him, I'm going to go get him. But you know about us. You heard about us. And I'm not just talking about Red. This ain't got nothing to do with
No, it ain't
Red.
about him at all.
I don't, to the viewers, you know what I mean? It's just those who came before us. So like, if you think about Jersey artists, you can think about Queen Latifah, you can think about Lauryn Hill. There's other people you can think about that was beyond Redman. Beyond that, man. Queen Latifah is beyond any artist out of Jersey. If you talk about an artist from Jersey, the only one that's relevant right now is Queen Latifah. Is she relevant because she continued to develop herself and keep moving, right? So I get it, but I gotta hold people accountable. You gotta hold those who came before us accountable for their actions. We in this condition because they didn't come back and help. That's your responsibility. If you're gonna say you from Jersey, you represent this, it's your job to come back and say, look, the door is open, come through.
And that's a part of trauma
Yep.
that people, once again,
Won't admit.
don't realize, don't admit, don't speak on, or don't want to identify with. The definition of trauma that I was looking for this interview was physical injury. And the most damaged part of a person is their mind,
Yeah.
not their body. How does an album solve the mystery of how to heal the mind by going through the ear, not going through the physical body itself?
Because if you go through the ear, you can go through the physical body.
Okay.
You listen, it'll touch your heart. If you listen, it'll touch your mind. You're gonna feel it. Regardless. I don't care who you is, when you listen to it, any person, I'm just going straight say this in the camera, anybody that listens to that album, you're gonna feel something out of that album. I don't care who you are. A brother from Brother Lamont, I forgot where he live at right now. He out of state. Bro, I need the album. I sent him the album. You know what he sent me back?
What do you send you back?
Transformation. Older brother, Nation of Islam, Suit and Top. Bruh, Transformation. There's something on the album for every single person. I don't care who you are. A little kid, a grown man, middle age, old. There's something on there for everybody because that's the life that we live. And people only talk about one perspective. They talk about the
opposite side of the album.
Which is what, the entertainment side only?
victimizer.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't talk about the victim. They talk about the victimizer, the person that's always doing something to somebody. I'm the doer. I'm the this. It's always I or I'm doing this. What about the person on the other end of that? What happens to this person that you did something to?
That's un-American. That's why that's not talked about.
Well, we don't talk about
Okay. But remember, it's more than that. That's more than trauma. That's also patriotism. So that's going to another level of how deep the album can get. Because when you make a person, like I said, the main thing about this interview I want to do to see was trauma is nice. Trauma, we know everybody deals with trauma, but identity is what the album really pushes. That I think people are going to miss because they're going to get caught up in the domestic violence, the man getting shot, or him wanting a girl. Because those are the hot topics. Mm-hmm. But the identity is what I think people are going to miss. One of the most powerful lessons I learned from biblical study was this. Christ said, you'll point at somebody who has a speck of dust in their eye, but you got a plank of wood hanging out your own eye. And instead of dealing with your wood, you'll worry about dust in their face.
So, the reason why, because this is a process, that's only one part, it's a trilogy, right? There's another, right, so that's why it ended the way it ended, because there's another
more
part to this. The second part is mental health, the soundtrack to mental health. And then the third one is the soundtrack to healing. So I got to walk you through this. Like in the beginning, we're going to give you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. We're going to give you all three of them, right? In order for people to, they got to see first, this is the pain that you totally ignoring, but let me show you how you got through that. So we're going to go through the mental health aspect of it next. This is what the mind goes through. This is what creates these things, the thoughts and the process that that causes all of this stuff to happen, I'm gonna take you through that with the next album. But that last one is gonna be healing. But I gotta take you a little bit deeper though. What's happening is, what's getting ready to happen is, this album, the soundtrack to Trauma is gonna unite people from Jersey regardless, because I'm gonna put them in it. The movie, people don't see us together. They never see us together. They don't see us, they just see 2 or 3 of them over there, a few of them over there. So if I create a movie, if we do a movie to this, and I'm not playing a role in this, everybody else will. It unites us on a whole different level without me having to call like, yo, I think we need to get together, sit down as a group in Jersey. I'm not doing all of that, because that's standard. It's a standard, that's standard. You have to go, you have to get outside. I don't like a box. I don't like it. And I think that's where hip hop is at. It's inside of a box. That's why they bumping into the same walls. So when you get out of that box and you say something different, they like, yo, why would you do that? Because you stuck in there. Get out of there. I'm not in there. He never been in there. He never been in that box. That's why it ain't about him giving his music or his beats to an artist, because they can't just handle him giving the beat to them. You have to be able to get inside of that beat and listen to it and be an instrument to that orchestra. You can't just listen to his beat like you would do a trap beat. Trap beat is the same simple formula. But with Ipkiss, it's an orchestra. In order to play in this orchestra, you have to take a seat, pick your instrument up, and become an instrument. You have to do that.
So in other words, you're resurrecting the dead.
We don't have no choice. What choice do we have right now in hip hop? What choice is there besides waking them up?
For someone to make an album right now, what it gotta come to a point where, what are you doing different than someone who's done that already?
Right.
There's nobody has done this. What makes it special? Talk about this, the way it's formatted. Nobody has done that. Everybody's doing the same thing. I'm this. It's so many ways to say I'm the best, or it's so many ways to say I got money and all this. Like, it's just so many ways to do that.
All the albums are the same thing.
Throughout the whole album.
Different beats. Like an album, if I listen to the albums out right now, it's just funny that we talking about that. Me and him discuss this all the time. Y'all, they ain't doing nothing but recreating the album that came before it. Like, you recreate that one with different words.
Right.
It's the same information.
Facts.
Who gonna keep picking up the same cookbook? For what? There's no same, I know the recipe already. I don't really need that cookbook. So that's the condition that we in. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of medicine first and take this shot, because I gotta numb you up, because I'm about to give you some. I'm gonna numb you because I'm about to cut you wide open real quick. After I cut you open, I'm gonna get rid of this cancer that's within you, and then I'm gonna pull it out and stitch you back up, patch you up, and see you on your way.
Well, the day you stop learning is the day you die. And music is a living entity of expression.
Right.
That's why the music never dies.
Never.
But to understand that, the synonym of a box is a coffin. So we're raising the dead, that we have to elevate the minds and ears of those who are asleep so they can come back to life. Thank you for watching our presentation. We ask that you subscribe to our YouTube family and hit the notification bell for updates. Please like, comment, and share this video.
Real hip hop. Real hip hop.